also that, but at least there is one thing that everybody agrees. If you accuse a child or if you accuse a person of witchcraft, you are considered them as a threat to the society. You think that they bring misfortune, in days and so on, in health and death and so on. So they are considered as a threat to the community, and that's why they are being accused, right? So that's the most important one. Otherwise, there is no consensus in terms of defining what witchcraft is. So we focus on as much as possible on the consequences. But I should say, in addition, even regardless of the violence that follows after the accusation, the mere act of accusing children of being witches has a significant psychological harm. So that needs to be underlined. So accusations of witchcraft, even without the violence that follows, which I'll come back to it later, is a form of violence, and that needs to be addressed. So in terms of the impact, it has, like I said, accusation by itself is a serious psychological harm. But beyond that, male children are, once accused, they will be isolated from their families, ignored. And for instance, if you go to DRC, Kinshasa, many children on the street are out there on the street because they were accused of being witches by their family, by their neighbors, friends, and so on. So children will be expelled from family homes and community as much. And beyond this, they may also face corporal punishment. And when I say corporal punishment, it has, the range starts from mild form of violence, but up to deadly of being witches, right? A form of physical violence. And this is with the view that these children need to be corrected so that they stop practicing witchcraft. That's the assumption from the community side. And in addition to this, some children will use the witchcraft accusations part. But there are also ritual attacks. And this is the physical violence inflicted on victims, which are usually children, with the assumption that they have some relationship with supernatural power. That's the assumption. So ritual attacks are usually carried out with the belief that if we take a body part of this particular child, and usually those children are children with disabilities, particularly children with albinism, then I'll be more powerful, I'll be wealthy, I'll get riches, and so on. So this is a desire for wealth will drive people to commit these attacks. So while witchcraft accusations are when children are accused of being evil, being a threat, this part is for the benefits of power, wealth, and so on. And so the kind of violence we are seeing here is again very serious. It goes up to killings. And mutilation, taking body parts of children with disabilities, children with albinism is part of the ritual attack. For instance, if you go to Ghana, mainly in Togo, this is the southern part of Ghana, the Volta region of Ghana, the southern part of Benin, southern part of Togo. That area, for instance, they have this custom called Chokosi. People are here from that part of the region, they will know, where a virgin girl is enslaved to the gods. But in practice, basically they are given to the priests as a compensation for an alleged crime perpetrated by a relative. So if a certain family is accused of committing a certain crime, then they will go to these shrines They will say XYZ did this. So if you want to get rid of that curse, then you give a virgin girl, a child, to these shrines, and then these girls will have to live and work for so many years, sometimes more than 10 years and so on. And they will face sexual assaults and even beyond. So this is a very serious crime that we're talking about, right? So who are the victims? Mostly the most vulnerable part of the community, and that's why children are also here. But even beyond children, there are also women who are victims, and especially older women are usually accused of being witches, beyond children, but also persons with albinism, persons with disabilities, not just children. So
this being the case, what's being done?
To highlight some of the efforts that have been done. I think one monumental step that was taken in this regard is very recently by the UN Human Rights Council. There has been a resolution issued on elimination of harmful practices related to witchcraft accusations and ritual attacks. And this is very important because it is recognized at the UN level that this is a very serious crime. And by the AU, we have the AU Plan of Action on Ending Attacks, especially particularly with persons with albinism, and this is very, very important. And this is a 10-year plan, it has just started. And there is also one important guideline that was developed by the Pan-African Parliament, which stalled because the Parliament was disbanded. So, in general, there are efforts on the legal and policy frameworks, so many instruments are there to protect children from different forms of violence, but not on witchcraft-related abuses. I'll talk about some of the gaps during the question and answer. In terms of government structures within the national level, yeah, we have a system in place to protect children from all forms of violence, but there is no capacity, no knowledge, no awareness on this particular issue. Programs and services, they are available for, most of other forms of violence against children, but not on witchcraft accusations against children. This is from the very recent study that we have undertaken. We've seen this, but there are also some good practices which we can highlight during the discussion. So, finally, I would say there is. Two things. Let me say two things. One is on awareness. So we need to raise awareness about the impact of this form of violence to government and governmental actors and supporters, initially, as well to donors and so on, so that this issue gets attention it deserves. And faith communities, religious leaders, plays particular role in this in addressing these kind of crimes, and they should be reached out. We should reach out to these communities and with a view to address this problem. Since my time is up, I'll stop here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ACPF, for this presentation. I encourage you to, as you listen to the remarks and the presentations, when you have questions or things you want to clarify, just note them down so that we can go through all the presentations, and then at the end, we'll come back to you so you can ask your questions. Okay, so with that said, I have the pleasure to invite the presentation from World Vision.
Thank you. My name is James Ukuru. I'm the National Director for World Vision in Lesotho. But I'm not speaking on behalf of World Vision in general for all the regions in Africa, which are three. We are in more than 20 25 or 23 countries in Africa, and we are all very committed and focused on the same vision towards the children. We are very delighted as an organization to be part of this day and also supporting the theme, which is implementing Afro practices affecting children, progress of policy and practices of the team. So, while World Vision, a child-focused organization, of course, this is a very important day and important topic that we're talking about, especially regarding the harmful practices that affect the children. And we are doing this through many ways. First of all, we promote very simple ways of working with children. We have to listen to them. So listening to children for us is very important so that they are part of the whole process of their growth and development. And also doing this through collaboration with various partners and stakeholders, because we realize that this subject is not for one organization, for one individual, for one country, but it's for everybody. So collaboration for us is very, very important and key. And wherever we are working, we are always collaborating with stakeholders, especially the government and other peer organizations that are focused on the same values. And also partnerships. We do enter into different partnerships, including governments, peers again, and not forgetting the children. So for us, partnership with the children is very, very key. Our focus is to ensure that we give a safe space for children to express themselves and participate in whatever is happening in their lives. And in many contexts, including Lesotho, we are promoting and encouraging space for children through child parliaments, where they engage different stakeholders, they express themselves, they talk to government leaders, and also link up with the parliament to just express what they feel as children and asking for their entitlements. And that is through countries. We also do take up subjects and convert them into campaigns based on how widespread the issues are. For example, the issue of child marriage and sexual exploitation. We have an ongoing campaign to end violence against children in almost all the countries around the world, and Africa included. And for example, the foreign countries where we are working in Africa already adopted that campaign, which includes Lesotho, Chad, Ethiopia, Ghana, Kenya, Malawi, Mali, Mauritania, Mozambique, Niger, Senegal, Somalia, Tanzania, Uganda, Zambia, just to name a few. We believe that if children are not given space now, then we are not preparing for any better world. We don't want to be saying children are the future leaders, but we are saying children, Chad, Ethiopia, Ghana, the role that they play appropriately now, and also become better citizens in future when they are adults. But their action starts now. We are also engaging through various forums, and for example, just last month we organized a virtual intergenerational dialogue that brought about children from different countries where we work in Africa, and they engaged a number of stakeholders, including the AU, the government representatives, the UN, and the AU ambassador, just to name a few. So that brought about a forum where children were able to express themselves, exchange views, understand the challenges that are happening in other countries affecting children, and so on and so forth. So it makes them even more determined to continue fighting against these evils, because they realize that other friends in other contexts are also doing the same. Maybe in summary, let's say we are committed to a few things to continue dealing with these issues that are affecting children. The evils against children. One, we want to continue listening to the children, boys and girls, to give them equal attention as key agents of change in the continent of Africa. We want to ensure continued collaboration with all stakeholders, partners, including girls and boys, law enforcement agencies, faith, traditional community leaders, to ensure that all of us are united around these subjects. We want to continue collaborating or contributing to ongoing efforts together with key stakeholders in strengthening child protection systems that will curb harmful practices. We want to continue strengthening our partnerships with relevant stakeholders, including girls and boys, to create a safe and non-discriminatory environment for girls and boys. And lastly, to enhance continued collaboration with the government, donors, and other partners to address the secondary impact of COVID-19 on children. I just want to thank you for listening, and also looking forward to the engagement as we look at the questions that will be posed. As well, we are committed to continue working with the children and ensuring that they are protected. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Country Director for World Vision Lesotho, for these remarks, and also for keeping well within your time limits. Thank you, we appreciate that. And in that spirit, I will call on our dear colleague from Save the Children for her remarks. Also for 10 minutes. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Bonjour, bonsoir. How are you all doing? All of a sudden, the energy changed in the room because the children left. It's a different energy. I like the energy of children being in the room. I do understand that they cannot be here all the time, but it was so inspiring, refreshing to have them in the room. I don't know, there are some of us who were here to listen to them yesterday. And I have to admit shamefully, for the first time, I realized that corporal punishment has to be a priority for all of us. All of us. So as we end today, we all need to commit to go and meet a teacher and tell them, any teacher you meet, we should perhaps set maybe a number of teachers that we all need to talk to about ending corporal punishment. My name is Doris Pumu, and I'm the director of Save the Children, ABDism, and Pan-Africa Office. We work on various issues, including attacks on schools during conflict. But today and yesterday I also learned that governments attack children by turning a blind eye on corporal punishment. One of the child said, how can I feel comfortable? This morning we heard the speaker. How can I be comfortable and feel safe at school when I'm being punished? How can we all allow it? It's not possible that our children, our grandchildren are being beaten in 2022. We heard them say that beating does not make you learn better. It's amazing. We need a paradigm shift on how we engage children. I was educated yesterday. I'm so grateful I came because it was a life lesson to hear to those children, and I would like really to salute. There are two women in this room who have been doing excellent work in Lesotho with children. Can I ask the two of you to stand up, please? I know I'm eating on my time, but it's important to recognize the two of you. Please, can you please stand up at the back, the woman in the back, and your friend. These women are doing an incredible work for the women. So I just wanted to recognize that, but now I'll go on with, thank you so much. There was also another woman that I wanted to recognize. She's not here? Yes, the woman here in the back. You. She's hiding because she's very humble. So thank you. Thank you very much for everything you're doing.